Today I'm gonna be playing a Nosferatu Embrace. Seems to be part of the Vampire Jam from last October as well. I won't be able to speak too loudly because I'm in a public space and I just wanted to let you know. Okay, so a Nosferatu's Embrace. Let's go and give that a shot. The castle is so beautiful at night, all lit up. It's hard to believe it's right in the center of a city full of people, all walks of life, people of different nationalities, beliefs, hopes, dreams. They all come here for different reasons. Edinburgh itself has such a rich and fascinating history. Bloody battles, the plague, witch trials, the Enlightenment. It was also once a hub of knowledge with some of the world's top colleges and universities. It was dubbed the Athens of the North because of the waves of new philosophies and studies during the Enlightenment in the 18th century. Then it became Old Reiki, thanks to the Industrial Revolution. Old Smoky would be its English translation. A charming name by any means. It was the pollution from the factories that... why am I even thinking about all this? It's not like this inner monologue of mine is serving any purpose. Not anymore, at least. The tourists used to love hearing all these random facts about the city. But tourism died a death when Plague 2.08. So did conversation with strangers, for that matter. I guess my mind tends to wander when I'm enchanted by the moonlight. It looks almost magical about the city. If I still had my old art supplies, I would just sit here and paint it until the sun rises in the morning. But I'm not out there at this ungodly hour just to watch the moon, no matter how mystical it looks. I'm not even out here by choice. I just have nowhere else to go. I don't have a home. I pretty much have to find a new place to sleep every night. Tonight, I've chosen the very bottom of Princess Street Gardens. I've got my sleeping bag rolled out by some bushes which should give me cover from any possible security. The gardens closes every evening at 5:30 p.m, so I shouldn't be disturbed. But who would disturb me anyway? I don't have any family or friends. I don't really have anything anymore. Except for Ace, of course. I found him as a puppy. He was a stray. Kind of like me, actually. He found me while I was eating in these very gardens. The poor pup was starving. When he looked up at me with his little puppy dog eyes, I just could not say no. I fed him the rest of my meal, and after that, he never left me. We've had each other's back ever since. Best dog in the world. When he's not barking, he's damn head off, that is. Hey boy, calm down. What's the matter? He's really on edge tonight. I wonder what spooked him. He's staring off into the bushes. He looks terrified. I should check it out. Oh, Ace, stay here. I'll go have a look. Stay. The bushes are so thick I can barely pass through them. Shit, I think I just cut myself on the phone or something. Never mind, just a bit further. There, I'm through the bushes. Now let's see what all the fuss was about. Wait, there's someone just through these bushes. What is he doing? Maybe I shouldn't watch. Wait, is that blood? Shit. I think he's been stabbed or something. I'm gonna check if he's okay. Hey, are you alright? I approach him from behind. I attempt to put a hand on his shoulder. He turns around at breakneck speed and looks me straight in the eye. What the fuck? It's a goddamn monster. Holy shit. His fingers are like long crooked knives. He extends his arm and grabs me by the throat. He pulls me in close to him. His grip is strong. It's like a vice tightening around my throat. And his hand is as cold as death itself. His thumb presses down on my veins, and I can feel my pulse beating hard under his force. I can't breathe. I try to muster a word from my mouth, a plea to this hideous creature to spare my life. But before I can make so much as a whimper, he plunges his repulsive teeth deep into my throat. There's a sudden sharp pain, but then, wait, this isn't so bad. It actually feels good, really good. It's pure ecstasy. How does such a horrific being behold such majesty, such beauty? Beauty from within, from the very heart and soul. A monster is literally draining me of my life, and yet I don't want it to end. I could die right now and that would be okay, because in this moment I'm already in heaven. He pulls away from me, and that moment of pure bliss is swiftly over, and I have a moment of lucidity before I fall to my knees. He looks down at me. Is that pity I see in his eyes? I feel myself fading away. It'll be all over soon. Goodbye, Ace. Be a good boy. What is it in my mouth? It's like whiskey, smoky. No, it's more like liquid fire. It's intense. It's pure pleasure. I'm able to open my eyes again as he pulls his slashed bloody wrist away from my mouth. Was he making me drink that? He licks his wound and it healed. Right before my very eyes. The flesh seemed to reconnect and stitch itself back together like some kind of a bloody jigsaw puzzle. I stand there in my incomplete hole. He somehow seems less monstrous. I feel like I can trust him, like I know him somehow. What am I saying? This thing just attacked me and forced me to drink from him, but I still can't shake that feeling that we could be kindred spirits. I open my mouth to say something, but then, what the fuck is happening to me? The pain. It's excruciating. I collapse to the ground, contorting in sheer agony. I hear him stepping toward me. I'm sorry. You are not meant to be part of this. You caught me at a bad time. I couldn't stop myself. I killed you, but I brought you back. I can't stay to guide you, at least not past tonight. Your embrace was not exactly permitted. If I stayed with you, it would only put you in more danger. But I could not let you die, especially since you were only trained to help me. I can hear the far-off sounds of sirens. You need to get somewhere safe, somewhere discreet, but most importantly, somewhere no one will see you. But do you know of anywhere you can go? Through this pain, my thoughts are scrambled. I can only think of a couple of places off the top of my head. Let's go to Greyfriars Kirkyard. Through painfully clenched teeth, I managed to muster the words. Greyfriars. The Kirkyard? Interesting choice. Popular with tourists, but as it happens, there is a secret haven underneath the Mausoleum of George Mckenzie. Are you sure you want to go to the Kirkyard? Yes, the Kirkyard. Let's get you there quickly then. What? He was there a second ago, but now he's vanished. I feel something grab my arm. Don't panic, I'm still here. This is one of my many powers of the clans that you are now part of. While you're here with me, you too will be hidden from view. It pulls my arm and to lead the way. I can barely stand as what feels like my entire skeletal structure is shifting into a new form. I know you're in pain, but we really need to move. Daylight is not far off, and you definitely don't want to be around when it comes. I think I'm starting to put two and two together now. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what he is, what is made of me. Blood, powers, sunlight. He's a vampire. I'm a vampire. Stay with me there, Paul. We're nearly there. I know you're in pain. Just try to stay quiet. We're coming up to the Royal Mile now. The street is completely empty, bearing two police officers just across the road from us. This is all too much. The way I'm seeing it now, I have two options. Trust the monster that violated me, or I would call the police. Would they even believe me? I know I need to trust the monster. I think I'd better trust him. At least for now, until I can get some answers. We continue down the road. It takes extra care crossing in front of the two police officers when... Hey, stop! What the fuck? How did he see us? Shit! They both reach for something concealed in their vests. Wait, officers, here don't carry guns. Stay where you are. These aren't ordinary police. On the ground. Do what they say, don't panic. I kneel on the ground and put my hands above my head. They move toward us slowly, with their guns drawn, pointing directly at our heads. One of them moves behind us while the other comes to the forefront, their gun aimed on me. The one in front of me speaks into their radio. We got him. The tip was solid. There's another one with him. What do we do? Garbled instruction come in over the radio. The officer in front of me has put away their weapon and is reaching for something else. That's when I feel the agonizing pain of something sharp stabbing through my chest. I hear the sickening crack of bone breaking as my ribcage burst open. All the muscles in my body stiffen and freezes in place, but I can still see and hear everything around me. I'm still conscious, still alive, but completely and utterly helpless. As this sudden paralysis hits in, I see my monster friend taking advantage of my distraction. In a flash, he pulls out a sickeningly large blade and impaled the first officer through the chest. It almost seeks the way he puppets his corpse to provide cover from the second officer. Shit, the officer on the end of the blade is still alive. He's trying to reach for his gun, but he can't reach it for the blade. Instead, the monster grabs it and immediately shoots the second officer, who erupts in flame. He pulls out a second, slightly smaller blade and slices the first officer's head clean off. The second officer is still burning, but is no longer interested in catching us. He attempts to flee the area, but the monster won't let him. I can't see what happens next, as it is out of my restricted cone of vision. But I hear the sound of his body drop to the ground and the monster walking back toward me. He sits in front of me now. Good job, kid. When I pull these stakes out of you, you'll be able to move again. Easy now. I feel the tugging of whatever stabbed me slowly being pulled out. Suddenly, I'm back. But the blood of the officer, oh, the smell. It's intoxicating. A burning anger rages inside of me. I can't resist as my body takes control and lunges onto one of the officers. It's as if I'm in the passenger seat of my body as pure instinct kicks in. I drink and drink pints after pints from the corpse. The blood is fresh and it tastes like heaven. I finally pull away, having slacked my sudden disturbing bloodlust. I feel reborn. This is all kind of fucked up. I just drank blood from a decapitated corpse, and I feel good about it. Come now. Let's get you to your new heaven. What about the bodies? That's for the camp to worry about. Come on, I'll answer your questions when we get there. I don't resist. I let him do something that I didn't read before I clicked. Greyfriars Kirkyard. It's probably most famous these days for the stories of Greyfriars Bobby. A ridiculously wholesome yet sad story of a dog who waited every day by his owner's grave. The story is a bit of an exaggeration, but truth be told, but it's not the only story from this old graveyard. We're heading to the Mausoleum of George Mckenzie, otherwise known as Bloody Mckenzie or the Bloody Baron. This was long before the name of appropriated by J.K. Rowling for her Harry Potter books. He was a brutal lawyer, known for sending hundreds of Covenanters to their death back in the 17th century. The Covenanters' prison is actually in this very graveyard. It's a kind of sick irony to bury the man responsible for such brutality mere feet away from the prison they were sentenced to. The prisoners would be subjected to all of the elements, as their prison was not a building, but a gated-off area behind the kirk. He would delight in the scream as they're bitten to pulp by guards. If they didn't die from the beating or the cold of the starvation, those who refused to sign a bond of loyalty to the crown would be sentenced to death. Their heirs would decorate the gates of the prison, the torture they endured at the end of this deplorable man, all of the freedom to worship as they pleased. He did have his comeuppance, but only after death. Some teenagers broke into his mausoleum about 20 years ago and removed his skull. Supposedly, one of them performed a lewd act on it. They were tried under an ancient legislation for body snatchers. His ghost is said to haunt the graveyard too. That's nothing new. There's an old game that children would play. They'd knock on the door to the mausoleum 3 times and say, "Bloody Mckenzie, come out if you dare. Lift the snake and draw the bear." We found the doors to the mausoleum, but we don't knock. It's been broken into numerous times in the past, but I'm starting to realize that perhaps it's not always just been rowdy teenagers. He lifts one of the stone steps up from the ground. It's an incredible feat of strength. And to my surprise, he presents a key. He opens the door, which look like they have been reinforced. He leads the way inside and opens a large metal grate on the floor. The grate would appear to be much too heavy for a normal person to lift, just like the stone step. It seems that whoever made this place wanted to make sure no more people could get in again. The gate leads down a makeshift staircase into a tunnel, which itself leads in multiple directions. I follow as it takes me down one of the tunnels into a rather bare room. So, this is it. I imagine you'll want to furnish the place somehow. These tunnels will lead you safely out of your heaven if you need to leave. I don't have time to give you a tour, but you'll figure it out. If you have any questions, now's the time. Who are you? It's probably safer for you to not know my name, but I am what you would call your sire. Sire is the word we use to define the one who turned us. You are my child. That means you share my bloodline. I am of clan Nosferatu, so you two are in the process of becoming a Nosferatu. Clan Nosferatu? Nosferatu is one of several clans. Unfortunately, the Embrace, that's the act of creating a new vampire. The Embrace is a very unpleasant thing for a Nosferatu. Your whole body is changing inside and out. It's excruciatingly painful and slow. I'm sorry to say that this process could take weeks before it finally ends, but I want you to know that I did not choose to do this to you lightly. I couldn't handle the thought of taking an innocent life, especially when I could give a second chance. It's a hard life being a Nosferatu, I won't lie to you. You can't let people see you. You have to keep a secret, and not just the Nosferatus, by the way. All of us. No one can know about vampires in general. It's the masquerade. It's a rule of vampires. It's a rules all vampires are tied to. It's the person you didn't know about any of these before tonight. But don't worry, our clan isn't all bad. We have certain abilities inherent to us. I'm sure you'll pick up on them too. You've witnessed at least one of them tonight. Many of us can disappear from view. Some of us can communicate with animals. We can also summon the power of our blood to increase our strength. You'll find some of these things will come naturally to you, but some abilities may be out of your reach for now. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Who were those officers back there? Kamaila ghouls? I may have stumbled upon something I wasn't meant to find out. A ghoul is essentially a human who is bound in servitude to a vampire. They are fed vitae, vampire blood, which ties them to the master. They can't disobey them, though the blood does grant them extra strength. Not equal to a vampire, but still much greater than a human. The blood also grants the ghoul some of the powers. I think that's how the ghouls were able to see us earlier tonight. Can you ghoul an animal? It's possible. Why do you ask? No reason. What the fuck, actually? He attempts to conceal a struggle. Yes, a very appropriate question. I shall start from the beginning. You've been embraced into a whole new world, my friend. Vampires are real? Well, we prefer using the term kindred, but I'll keep it simple for you. Monsters are real, and we are all of us monsters. We are all slaves to the beast inside us. The beast that calls for indiscriminate bloodshed. You already experienced its call earlier tonight when you chowed down on that body. We keep the beast in check by ensuring that we are well fed on blood. Don't even try eating normal food, just don't. If a vampire hasn't fed enough, well, you already saw what happens there too. That was what happened to me just this evening. Using our powers costs us energy. We call it vitae. It's essentially what the blood we feed on turns into. So when we run too low on vitae, the beast comes knocking, and we can lose control. Try not to let that happen, like I unfortunately did. When feeding, take just enough to take the edge off. Feeding is usually quite a pleasurable experience for both involved, so try not to get too carried away. There's no sense in killing people. If you do cross that line, you lose a piece of humanity, a piece of yourself. I hope you won't do that. After you fed from them, you can close their wounds just by licking them. As for vampire myth, some of them are real and others aren't. Garlic and running water? Please. But sunlight? That's death right there. Crosses? Only from those of true faith. As for stakes, that's a complicated one. A stake through the heart won't kill you. It puts us in a sort of state of paralysis. You're aware of what's happening around you, but you can't do anything about it. If you're stacked long enough, you may fall into torpor. Think of it like a long sleep. Anyway, that's the basic of vampire survival. Avoid those things and you may just live forever. But always be aware, immortality is never guaranteed in this world. Very well, damn. Dawn is fast approaching, so I need to leave. If you keep a low profile, you will just be fine. Take care. He hands me the small metal key, then vanishes from view. I assume he's left, but I can't actually tell. This is the first moment I've had to really reflect on what's happened. I am so lost, so confused. This all happened so fast. What am I becoming? A monster. That's all I've ever be from now on? For the rest of my existence? However long that might be? I don't know if I can even look myself in the mirror. I can already feel myself changing. I'm scared of what I might become. And what about Ace? He's all alone out there now. I need to get him back, but what I've changed too much? What if I've changed too much? What if my monstrous appearance scares him? What if I lose control? Then again, what if I can protect him better now than I could before? This new life is full of conundrums. I'll need to work these things out in their own time, but right now at least I am safe down here. The sun can't get to me, so that's perfect. There's no way into the mausoleum by human means, and I'm sure I can navigate the underground tunnels with practice. I guess there's nothing left to do now but wait and see what tomorrow brings me. Let's sleep. I awake in sheer agony. That I had last night from drinking that corpse is gone. I need to feed. Now, I feel the hunger twist inside my still shifting body. Luckily, I know the perfect place to hunt within my very own home. I would wait to ponder the ethics of the situation, but this anger is gripping at me like nothing I've ever felt before. I can hear the muffled sound of talking above me. It must be one of the ghost tools. Perfect. I follow a tunnel which seems to run parallel to the staircase from the mausoleum. This one should take me to a different part of the graveyard. I navigate the tunnel and find another set of makeshift stairs leading to another grate. I leave the grate and find myself inside another mausoleum. This one should be easier to leave out of, as it's in a less populated part of the graveyard. The tours love talking about bloody Mckenzie, so they often gather outside the mausoleum in the early evening hours. This is something I'll need to keep in mind. I slowly follow the origin of the sound, but don't get too close. If I stay in the dark, they won't be able to see me. If they do, they'll probably think it's part of the tour. I need to plan what I do next. I think I'll wait for the right moment. From where I'm standing, I can see a guy lagging behind the rest of the group. He seems more interested in his phone than the actual tour. If I wait a bit longer, he might get separated. A couple of minutes go by and the tour guide is looking to head into the Covenanters' prison. The man hasn't looked up from his phone even once. Honestly, it's very rude. The group are moving on now. He's making a move to join them, but very slowly. I think I can get away with this if I act now. I sneak up behind him. I amaze myself while doing so. I don't seem to be making any noise at all. I'm like a thief in the night, a shadow in the dark. I take him completely unaware while everyone else has left. I sink my teeth into his neck and he seems to go a little limp. He doesn't even know what's eats him. I drink and I contain myself. So I stop. I was getting dangerously close to doing something unthinkable. I tear myself away from him, denying my inner call to drain him. I lick his wound and they heal instantly. There's not a trace left of where I beat him. He wobbles a bit as I slink away to watch from a safe distance. I want to make sure he's okay. He stumbles a bit and leans against the wall. It almost looks like he's had too much to drink. In fact, I think that's exactly how people would see it. I hear the sound of the tour returning. The tour guide is calling his name. They must have noticed that he was missing, or maybe they did a head count. By any means, I'm just glad I didn't go overboard there. They might have returned to find his body. He seems to come back to himself slightly and staggers off with the rest of the group. A woman, maybe his wife or girlfriend, wraps her arm around him and supports him as he walks. He's going to be okay. I'm glad. I return home feeling rather content. Not that what I did was a particularly particularly good thing, but the fact that the man is unharmed is the most important thing to me. I didn't lose myself in the moment. I did what I had to do, then left, and everyone's happy. This is the first time I felt like maybe I'll be okay after all. Maybe I can make this new life work for me. I sink into an old antique chair in the middle of the room when I notice something strange. There is a small handled mirror sitting on the table in front of me. I don't remember it being there before. Investigate. I slowly stand up from my chair and look around the room. I can't see anyone, but I know for a fact that it wasn't there earlier. Someone's here. I'm sure of it. I begin to make a move toward the entrance, but my leg brushes against the handle of the mirror, causing it to fall off the table. So you're not gonna look at yourself? What? Not even a little peek? Let's go out. Who's there? Show yourself. The room has fallen silent, but I catch a glimpse of something in the periphery of my vision. I turn back around to the chair and see a woman sitting there now. Her legs are crossed over, and she sits there with her head placed on top of one of her fists, as if she is listening intently to an engaging conversation. She looks at me with wide eyes and a grin from ear to ear. Hello, darling. I back away from her slightly. She's an unhinged look about her. Mostly, it's her smile. Her hair and makeup is uncannily neat, but she just doesn't seem quite right. Who are you? Darling, you may refer to me as Delilah. What are you doing here? Think of me as a kind of emissary. I'm here to offer peace and opportunity. What do you want? Straight to the point then, I like it. I want to offer you a deal. I'm here on behalf of the Camarilla. To be specific, I'm here at the direct request of the prince. In case you don't know yet, the prince governs the city. He enforces the rule and laws we all, as kindred, must follow for the sake of our survival. You were embraced illegally, in direct violation of these laws. Normally, there would be a death sentence for both of you. But the prince has offered a merciful alternative and a way to rectify the situation. We don't want you. We just want the one who turned you. Let's hear out. Not only is what he did to you highly illegal, not to mention immoral, but is a repeat offender against the order of the Camarilla. As for the exact details, well, I can't let you in on that unless you help me. Before we go any further though, I just want to tell you, you don't owe him anything. You were minding your own business, just trying to settle in for the night. He took your life. He left you. He didn't even tell you his name. How can you trust anything he told you? You're incredibly new to this world. He could easily manipulate you into believing anything he wants. You have a chance now to prove your value to the prince. So, what do you say? What's in it for me? You mean aside from getting to leave? Her demeanor changes entirely. Her wide grin has vanished and been replaced with a stern and serious face. Her eyebrows furrow and her expression suggests that I've insulted her. This expression quickly changes back to her unsettling smile when she says, "Well, actually, as it happens, I do have a gift for you in exchange for your help." She gives me a look like a mischievous child. To you, would I never be? Though I fly my tongue for all to see, what am I? She sticks her tongue out and makes a waging motion using her tongue. She doesn't give me time to answer a riddle as she puts her hand in her pocket and pulls out a small photograph. She stands it to me face down. She hands it to me face down. If my heart were still beating, it would sink right now. She has Ace, a dog. Well, I suppose I kind of gave you the answer. Shit. So, what will it be? Ace. His safety is all that matters to me. I don't trust this one at all. I'll play along with her for now, but the second I get the chance, well... She looks at me with an expression that suggests she's bored out of her skull. Okay, I'll help you. She smiles again. I knew I had a good feeling about you. Meet me tomorrow night by Edinburgh's Disgrace. 1 a.m. Edinburgh's Disgrace? Isn't that a bit public? Is this some kind of power move on her part? Seeing if I would question her. Should I? Isn't that a bit public for me? She rolls her eyes. At 1 a.m. There shouldn't be many people there. We climbed a hill at that night of a night. Well, anyway, I know you're kind of good at hiding if there is anyone there. You'll figure it out. I guess I have to agree with her. I don't think I have any choice in the matter. I'm still very green though. I don't know how to vanish like we did last night. Maybe pushing myself to try it would actually be for the best. 1 a.m. Edinburgh's Disgrace. See you there. She leaves the room abruptly without looking back. She's gone. Shit. What have I gotten myself into? An ace. He doesn't deserve to be caught in the middle of this, but I'll play along with her for now. I'll do the things she asked me to do. Track down the monster that turned me. But when the time comes, we'll take her out together. Jesus. This changes to my psyche. I'm already planning to kill someone. Am I a monster already? Would I still be a monster if it's for the greater good? A lesser evil? Whatever the case. All I know is I'll do what needs to be done to protect Ace. I have some preparation to take care of for tomorrow. I'll see what kind of goodies I can get my hands on. Weapons are rare in this country, but they do exist. And I happen to know of a few places I can get from now. I know for a fact that there's at least one gun shop in Edinburgh. I'll have to break in. It might be noisy. Maybe the stealthy way to handle it. I'll have to see what I get there. I navigate my way through the town, sticking to the shadows. Whenever possible, I wear a hood over my head, partly obscuring my face, and I'm dressed head to toe in black. Tonight, I am a shadow. This is my first real venture out into society since I was 10, and there's a lot riding on this. The night is quiet. Most people are dreaming peacefully in their beds at this time, unaware of the monster passing by their windows. I managed to navigate my way through the town and out into the suburbs. The gun shop is a very posh, rich area away from all the noise and bustle of the city. It's the kind of place where owning a gun isn't for protection, but purely for recreational hunting. The upper classes that live here are well into their love of hunting. They'll travel up to the islands every year for the annual deer call. I always hated the thought of people killing such beautiful and majestic creatures, but since Scotland has no natural predators larger than a fox, ever since bears and wolves were hunted to extinctions, the deer population grew out of control and started to damage the landscape. None of that's important right now. I just need to prepare for whatever is going to happen next. No one's around. It's currently 4 a.m. Let's do this. I approach the door. There's a keypad for an alarm system. Maybe I can attempt to hack it. Or should I? Can force my way? Play it safe. I don't want to set off any alarms. I pull the front of the device off and tamper with the wires. I think I've done it. Only one way to find out. I try to open the door and silence. Sounds like it worked. I shouldn't have to worry about police showing up and interrupting me unless someone happens to come by, of course. I enter the shop and I have a look around. There's not a lot here, honestly, since guns are a bit of a legal nightmare here. They don't really have anything that powerful. There are a couple of hunting rifles and pistols. The hunting rifle would be difficult to conceal, and I don't want that woman to catch wind of my gun. I think it'd be best to opt for the pistol. Hopefully, it will be enough if I need to use it. The pistols are locked inside a glass cabinet. Should I attempt to find the keys or just break the glass? Where would I keep the keys if I worked here? Would they even be left on the premise? I start searching underneath the counter. There's a red blinking light down here. Huh, another alarm. I think I can deactivate this one too. I pull the front of the device and tamper with the wires again. The blinking stops. I think that's it. Disarmed. I'm not seeing any keys anywhere though. Hopefully this is the second alarm dealt with. I can just smash it and open without worry. I come out from under the counter and back around to the cabinet. I slam my fist through the glass. The glass shatters, spreading small, sharp shards all over the floor. No alarm. Phew. I grab a couple of pistols and shove them inside my jacket. Now for the ammo. It doesn't seem to be in this part of the shop. Perhaps they keep the ammunition in the back room, out of reach of would-be thief and separate from the guns. I creep my way to the door at the far side of the shop. It's locked, of course. I didn't see any keys during my search. I'm guessing they are unkept on premises. I'll have to barge my way in and hope for the best. I slam my shoulder into the door. It comes clean off its hinges, but thankfully no alarm sounds. It wasn't exactly a quiet occurrence, but it worked. Hopefully no one heard. The storage room is small and cramped, but filled nearly to the brim with delivery boxes and packaging. There are small boxes heaped on top of each other's and a set of shelves at the back of the room. They look like the sort of boxes that would contain pistol ammo. I climb my way over the mass of cardboard and plastic containers to the shelves. Perfect. They are exactly what I need. I grab as many boxes as I can, shoving them in every pocket I have. There should be plenty. Although I don't know how resilient a vampire is to campfire, something tells me that even this way may not be enough after all. While I was perusing earlier on, I noticed a big heavy duty machete. I'll take it as well. I make my way back out of the storage room and into the shop once again. The machete is hanging on a rack attached to the wall above the counter. I put it down from the rack. The only issue now is where to hide it. I've heard about disreputable sorts concealing these weapons by strapping them to one of their legs inside trousers. Perhaps I can take from their example. In any case, I've got what I need from here. I can make my way back home now. As I'm leaving the shop, I notice 2 police officers walking this way. They haven't seen me yet. Shit. They are going to notice the shop was broken into. I'll obfuscate. I stand still. As still as I can. I'm like a statue. I don't know if I'm frozen from fear or if I'm following a bizarre new instinct I've just become aware of. The cops are getting closer and they still haven't noticed me. One of them notices the damaged door. When I hacked the alarm, it didn't unlock the door. I had to pull the handle down hard enough to break the lock. It felt so easy. The officer shines his light inside the shop and notices the smashed display units, but neither of them have seen me. I think it's really working. I'm invisible. Both cops head inside the shop with their baton at the ready. They seem to be normal police. No strange guns or anything like that. While they're distracted, I think I can safely leave the area. Okay, I think it's been quite a bit already, so I'm gonna end it there for today. It's been an hour, so it's good enough. Thank you for joining me for this playtest of a Nosferatu Embrace. As usual, thank you to my patrons for supporting me in doing those videos and also developing my own Vampire the Masquerade game, not as part of the game jam, but just for the fun of it. And on this note, I will leave it to you. Nice video game, cool story. I wish there was a bit more interactions, but I guess depending on how big it is, you have to set the story and all that stuff. So far so good. I like the style and I like the writing. The UI reminds me of another game actually, so I'm kind of a bit wondering if it's the same person doing the story and all that, or if it's a template that they are reusing. But anyway, on this note, I'll put the links to download it if you want to keep playing, and I'll see you another time.